Hello, we begin in the United States, where the White House has confirmed a second set of classified documents have been found, this time at President Joe Biden's private residence in Delaware. Earlier this week, it was revealed that classified documents were found at Biden's former office at a Washington think tank in November. This latest discovery could prove to be a political embarrassment for the Biden administration. The documents are believed to be from the time when he served as vice president. Authorities are investigating a bigger scandal involving former President Donald Trump's alleged mishandling of classified documents.
People know I take classified documents and classified material seriously. I also said we're cooperating fully and completely with the Justice Department's review. As part of that process, my lawyers reviewed other places where documents from my time as vice president were stored, and they finished the review last night. They discovered a small number of documents of classified markings in storage areas and file cabinets in my home and my personal library.
Well, the Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has called for an investigation.
They knew this has happened to President Biden before the election, but they kept it a secret from the American public. He goes on 60 Minutes, criticizes President Trump, even knowing what he has done, and he wasn't president at the time. Now we find another location that it's at, but he refused to answer. His press secretary won't answer the questions. You watched them leak photos of sitting out files of President Trump. Where's the photos of President Biden's documents? Where are those photos at? He knowingly knew this happened going into election, going into interviews. This is what makes America not trust their government.
Let's bring in our White House correspondent, Kimberly Halkett, joining us from Washington, D.C. So tell us more about the reaction that's been coming through and what more we're learning about this new batch of documents that has now been found.
Well, we know that this second batch of documents was found as a result of a search by White House counsel of the two residences belonging to current President Joe Biden, not only his private residence in Wilmington, Delaware, but also his beach house in the same state. And while there was nothing found at the beach house, there were documents found as a result of that search that finished just late last evening in the private garage of the president. Now, the president says he has no idea what are in these documents, just as he maintains he has no idea what the documents contained in that first batch that was found in the Penn Biden Center. They also say, the White House maintains, that these documents have been turned over to the National Archives, and they believe that this is an important distinction as you contrast this to the documents they allege were mishandled by former President Donald Trump, that this is the important difference in these two cases. The fact that the White House alleges that the former president may have set himself up for obstruction of justice, given the fact that it was a subpoena that was required to retrieve those documents. But still, the president's critics are seizing upon this case, saying that given the fact that both men have now had documents found at their private homes, that the president's criticisms of the former president, calling him totally irresponsible, is nothing more than hypocrisy. Now, we should point out that we are expecting to hear from the Department of Justice, specifically the Attorney General, Merrick Garland. He is expected to speak coming up around 19 GMT. This is something that is important given the fact the White House has been referring all questions on this matter to the Department of Justice. So we will continue to hear more about not only the case involving the current president, but potentially the former one as well.
All right. Thank you so much. Kimberly Halkett reporting from the White House.